That was a dumb joke.
And start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. I'm Vashi V, and joining me today is...
Right. Ooh. Welcome
And
to
welcome to an
episode.
episode... Well, welcome to episode 46, where some things just happen unceremoniously and other things are just fucking awesome.
Oh, man. So, Precious has no choice but to crush Yaba Sword's heart. Because Hellas has turned on them. And you can see the desperation that Precious is starting to go through of like, I just had everything and now I'm losing it all at once.
It's like, and they cover it very well in this episode of like, why. Like, this episode does one thing that A is exceedingly unique, and two is like it puts everything into perspective for just the character motivations, and even just how little we've had. Like Precious, it has gone through development, not much, but like you can actually like empathize with Precious a little bit.
Ah.
Because here now she has to destroy a comrade because, well, Hellas is making it kill everybody.
And then when you find out why, you find out like what the Droidon's actual purpose is, it all starts to come together of like, damn.
Right, like everything about this is just. I spent a good portion of this episode going, "What the fuck?" And in a really good way. And there's a portion that like I had mentioned to you, because I heard things, and I was just sitting there going, "No, no, no," and then they just completely disregarded. I'm like, "Oh, thank God." Which we'll get to that in a little bit.
But first, the Ryu soldiers are recovering from their wounds. Uh, Master Black doesn't think they have the power to defeat Hellas. So Tiramigo suggests that they seal away the Kishiryu again to use their power to seal Hellas again.
Which, given the little moment that Tiramigo and Co have later, is, and then Piton and everybody else is like, that shows wisdom from basically from Tiramigo and the Kishiryu of, no, this is literally what we exist for, dude. It's like it's why they were sealed in the first place, is because they use the power, they combine the power of the Real Soul and the Real Soul Caliber and the Kishiryu to seal Hellas. It's like it's literally the failsafe. Understanding like Ko's motivation for going, no, fuck you, you're my friend. No, I'm not sacrificing people for this.
We can
Makes
do this
sense.
together.
And then Tiramigo going, yeah, no, if doing it my way, still doing it together.
Also, Tiramigo is still calling Melto salt.
I forgot about that joke completely until it popped up. I'm like, why the fuck is he calling someone salt? Oh, that's Melto.
That's
That's
Melto.
right.
As soon as I saw it, I realized, like, oh yeah! Tiramigo fucking hates Melto because he's an ass. And treats the Kishiryu like tools.
It's like, oh yeah, that's right. And it obviously is like they've grown beyond, that level of, animosity, and Melto's shown growth in, not treating them that way. It's like, but no, Tiramigo's gonna stick with the name.
Sorry. Master Black also wants to join them, but Bamba insists that he not come along. He's still recovering from getting his heart back, and he would really just be dead weight to them. And Toa steps in, like, oh, pushing people away so they don't get hurt.
Neither one of them being honest with each other. It's great.
And everyone just comes in and starts jabbing at them for it. Like, oh, just say how you feel already.
And then laughing, and then Master Black tells them all to shut the fuck up. Such a lighthearted scene, and it led me... It solidified a little bit more of the theory that Master Black would be Ryusoulger Brown. And just so the note, fuck you, I'm gonna show up anyways, asshole. Which is a standard trope of I'm too injured to do something, but I'm gonna do it anyways because they need me. Like that's very much a standard trope, and I was like just waiting for it, and then we got something else.
Now, I'd like to make it clear. This is episode 46 of, I want to say, 48. We have 2 more episodes after this.
Which makes sense given the end of this episode.
So the Ryusoulgers go for their attack, a final attack on the Druidons. They can't enter the base because it's blocking out their Kishiryu power. So Cody transforms to just run in effectively naked because he's got none of his armor on. And Asuna tails behind him.
Because it's Asuna.
She gets a great moment, though. They're being shot at, and she just...
The fact that Ko was shocked that Asuna just ripped the fucking side of a wall out, a wall of the cave out, and was using it as a shield.
Oh, it's great.
At this point, Ko, why are you shocked at her strength? It has literally been since the start of the episode when she punched you into a mountain.
But this is literally ripping a part of the mountain out of the mountain.
Well, I mean, it is the next logical step.
So, like, at the end of the series is when you start to see each character's finest moments that highlights their character, like, tropes and personalities. That might be Asuna's.
Literally, the only thing that would have made it a perfect example of the Asuna trope is if Precious had taken a cake.
Oh, no. Earlier, when they're all, like, recovering and like, healing their wounds, and Master Black starts talking.
She's stuffing her face.
She's stuffing her face when Master Black's like, no, we can't defeat Hellas. She's just like, what? With, like, a mouthful of food.
Right. It's like, I mean, they solidified her trope. Is like, but in terms of, like, Asuna using her strength because somebody took her food is, to me, the best trope. Because she single-handedly whooped the shit out of a monster bear. Untransformed, all that. And I'm like, to me, that's the pinnacle. This does that same justice of just, I'm just going to be a complete badass.
While the others outside deal with Gunjoji, in walks Set.
The one person nobody thought of.
None of us thought that Set would be Ryusoulger Brown.
But no, he basically goes, yeah, no, I planned for this. Here's armor.
Yeah, no, he buried armor at the site of Hellas for this moment. He's been waiting millennia for this.
And let's be clear, Set is a dead man.
Yeah, no, he's possessing Ui's dad, an archaeologist that happened to uncover his tomb.
Like, everything about this was fucking gold. And, like, to me, I'm still hesitant to call him an official Brown, given how this episode plays out.
Oh, he's an official Brown. The fact that he can't fight for shit changes nothing.
Oh, I know, but still, like this is the type of shit you would get from
From like the fan
Shinken
members,
from Shinken
from
Brown,
Shinken Brown,
Juo Pink,
uh, SPD Orange, fucking Abare Pink.
like yeah, this is 100% what you would expect from the bullshit Sentai members.
The fan
And it's just,
members.
and it's just no, he's just old and fucking slow.
He hasn't lifted a sword. Who knows how long? Who knows how good he was when he was alive?
But holy fuck, was it great?
He literally like prances up to Precious and starts slapping him in the face. And then bear hugs him so that Ko and Asuna have an opening.
Like it's fucking great. Like Set 100% did everything but full Nelson Precious. It's like he basically Goku'd Precious. or for lack of a better term, Raditz Precious for the upper hand. He's like, no, I'm just gonna put you in a stupid ass submission move that shouldn't, by no logic, work. Long enough for Ko to run up and smash the fucking pillar. And then we get the one of my favorite things involving Set this episode.
When now the group reunites, we get our henshin and roll call, except for Set.
Because he forgot to do it.
But he still joins in with the pose, like, I've always wanted to do this.
Like, the fact that, like, he realizes, like, oh yeah, it's my turn, and then it just jumps to the,
Like, he had his opening, and he didn't take
and
it.
He didn't take it. Like, it was great. Like, to me, this harkens back to the Nada going, what am I supposed to say to transform?
Guy Soul, puts it in, Guy Soul. So that was it.
Was it? Like, to me, it harkens back to that, and it's fantastic.
And he did his own solo roll call, too. So he got a title.
Oh, to be fair, I did love Asuna's going, Ryusoulger title?
At least call me Brown like the rest of you. Say it in English.
Which I get the joke with that. That's the joke of like other Sentais where it's like the easiest one to do would be Ninja, where it was the colors were still the Japanese, like Aka Ninja, Io Ninja.
Aka Ninja, Ao
Momo
Ninja,
Ninja.
Middle Ranger.
Like it very much makes sense, kind of pokes at that joke, but also still pokes at the joke of why are you using the English colors in a Japanese show, you moron. Like, it's a mixture of let's poke at both of them, because Sentai is very inconsistent on whether or not they're going to use English or Japanese for the colors.
Star Ninja instead of Hoshi Ninja.
Then Ho-Ho Ninja. Like everything about it is like it's a running gag at this point with Toei, with Sentai, on how they're gonna name their colors, and it's fantastic. Because usually the only times that they don't do the colors is like in Q Ranger, where it was, we're named after the constellation, so we're gonna use that as the name. But these still did Okami blue, Shishi red. So it's one of those like, why are you bothering to change them in English and Japanese? It's funny to me.
We then proceed to get what could have passed for the final boss fight.
Oh, 100%. Like, this could have easily ran as the final boss fight.
Oh, they're all using, like, their top techniques to just wail on Precious as he fights back. Like, even countering some of them. Like, he fucking knocks Kanalo right out of the sky.
Right, like this is the type of trope that you get with the boss fight of normal Sentai is Sentai members have shown up periodically prior to the final fight, and they kind of get their shit kicked in by the big bad. Which, hey, guess what we've been getting anytime Precious has shown up? Everybody getting their shit kicked in. And then you have the power of friendship meeting, which, let's face it, that's kind of what that was back at Ui's dad's house. And then this would be the now power of friendship. We're gonna wreck your shit.
And speaking of finest moments, I think we get Toa's finest moment here when he uses his signature speed technique on Precious and just fucking wrecks half his goddamn body.
Right, because to be fair, they did at least do justice in the fact that point out that he was like his leg was injured to start with, because that's one of the wounds he was cleaning at Ui's dad's, and then the fact that he just goes, yeah, no, fuck it, push through, and just still wrecked Precious's shit. Like the effects in this fight are amazing. Like it showing like the green streak for the path that he took of bouncing around Precious while attacking him, it was phenomenal.
And then we get Set's finest moment when he says these words, I overcame my limit. And then his soul finally rests in peace. And why that is his finest moment is that he's the eldest member of the Ryusoul tribe. He's been something of a mentor to them when they occasionally needed advice. And this is him
instead
admitting...
Of the actual, instead of the actual mentor who just decided he was going to fuck off and create a restaurant.
Right. And so, like, limits are meant to be overcome is kind of Ko's signature thing that he says twice in the series. But still, it shows that Sent is acknowledging, like, I learned something from you on this day.
Right, and it's done beautifully and does lead to a funny-ass moment of Ui's dad going, wait, where am I? Why? What am I doing? Why am I here? Oh my god, I'm cold.
Oh man, it's cold in this cave.
Though, because of that, like, I was unprepared for the fact that we were only going to get Ryusoul Brown for one episode, which again makes me question the whole officiality of Ryusoul Brown.
Ryusoul Brown is
because it was just a one-off. Okay.
Ryusoul Brown is as official as Deca Swan.
Right, official, but can be classified as not. Though, to be fair, he's at least more official than Nada was.
Nada got robbed.
But in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, it's like that was...
What a way to go, right?
Right. I'm going to die, but I'm going to unlock your power to do it. Good man, Nada. And then Ryusoul Brown is basically, no, I'm going to make sure you can defeat this motherfucker.
And that's when this is when we get the big reveal from Precious. The whole...
Which this is going to get into my what the fuck am I listening to portion of this podcast.
Oh yeah, as Precious breaks down in
and
desperation.
And begins losing his shit.
And pleading to Hellas, like, the voice actor is hitting some pretty higher notes than normal. And so the tones are akin to Creon.
Like, to the point of I'm sitting there going, wait.
Like, why is Creon voice acting Precious?
Like, because this is a topic we've had since the inception of Creon and figuring out that Creon's been the common thing.
Like, hey, maybe Creon's more special than we give him credit for.
Right, so we chalked up to maybe he, like, since he's a mushroom, he's, like, just an offshoot of the big bad, which in this case would be Hellas. But as soon as Precious started sounding like Creon. I'm like, no, maybe that was the case. That Creon was split off from Precious, and that's why the voices are starting to sound the same. And I'm like, oh no, please don't do that, please don't do that, please don't do that. And
Nope.
then they didn't. I'm like, oh, thank God.
It's just a coincidence that we started to hear Creon in Precious's voice.
And then we get the epicness of...
No, not yet. First,
Oh yeah, go for it.
Precious gives us the explanation for the war between the Ryusoul tribe and the Jorodons. Hellas created the Ryusoul tribe first to protect the Earth. But they got greedy and fought wars trying to control the Earth. And so Hellas grew hateful of them and created the Jorodons to eliminate the Ryusoul tribe. So,
which is beautiful.
We've been talking this whole time about, like, why can Creon create the Minosaurs? Why is that not a common Jorodon ability? It's because the Druidons are just meant to fight the Ryusoul tribe. Creon creating the Minosaurs is a counter to the Kishiryu.
Absolutely. And, like, to me, there are several beautiful things about this. One, we now have a villain who literally created the good guys. We have found the god of both teams, for lack of a better term. The motivations that Hellas has to defeat the Ryusoulgers makes absolutely sense. Basically, you were blasphemous, became selfish, and fucked everything up. You deserve to die.
Now, eons later, the Druidons return to the Earth to wipe out the Ryusoul tribe and take the Earth for themselves. Basically doing the same thing that Hellas hated the Ryusoul tribe for. And so Hellas is basically realizing everything I've done has gone wrong. I'm gonna wipe it all and start over.
Fuck you, I'm doing it myself.
And that's when we get the epic appearance. Vashi?
Which, I'm gonna preface this by earlier when Yabasword got offed by... Who was it? Hellas or Precious?
Precious.
Precious and Gunjoji took a walk, and we saw a blue hand pick up the card. And then out of nowhere, mid-shitstorm from Precious, Wiseru and Creon just jump out, no explanation, no nothing, and basically tell Precious to calm his shit.
Wiseru jumps in to give the big reveal about why Hellas now hates the Druidons, but Creon jumps in and steals his thunder.
That was great. Watching Wiseru just kind of like appear in his grand fashion, only be knocked down a peg by Creon, is massively enjoyable to me. And the fact that we didn't get any explanation of why Wiseru is back.
Where were they this whole time?
Because aside from that card, we had no knowledge that Wiseru was actually alive. We speculated, and it was very obvious, but...
Right. But they were off rediscovering their history and how they came to be. It had been so long that the Jorodons forgot why Hellas created them in the first place. And so now... Go on.
And that alone is amazing enough. To have the villains go, why the fuck are we even here? Why are we doing this? Enough to go find out is amazing. Because we usually don't get that. We usually just get, boss is making us do this.
It's what made Tokuger so good. Every villain, starts to question why they're the villain.
And it's beautiful, and it works out really, really well, and it's done amazingly here. Because, even with Precious getting this information and going, no, fuck you, I don't care about that. And having Precious's greed basically override the knowledge that, no, this is why you were here, not to take over the world, but just to stop these morons.
Well, you have so Hellas only told Precious that like I created the Jordans to wipe out the Ryusoul tribe because they betrayed me. But then Precious, on his knees and desperate, this is when Wazuru come in and explain like, yeah, we fucked up our part as well, and that's why Hellas hates us. And Wazuru goes and offers Precious a chance to start over. We don't have to do this anymore. And Precious was about to take his hand when Hellas decided, no, this
No,
is
fuck you.
done. And fucking kills Precious.
Which, and the way it's done is amazing, and I loved the fact that Creon jumped in front of it to protect Precious.
Because, like, Precious was going to change his mind.
Right. And then just having it be Creon of all people is amazing. Because again, we've seen his character Creon grow since the start of this show, slowly but surely. So to have him defend basically the person who's been a giant piece of shit, all because they were basically misinformed, and because they're finally getting that realization of, yeah, no, I kind of fucked up a bunch of shit. Having Creon be the one to jump in front of him is amazing. Does nothing.
Unfortunately, but he tried.
Oh yeah, he did.
Which is more than can be said for a lot of his interactions in combat.
Right.
He doesn't like to fight.
It really about the most effective he is in a fight that we have physically seen is when he punches Melto in the throat.
I forgot about that.
I will never forget about that. That is Creon's greatest combat moment.
Oh. Precious killed, Hellas killed Precious to absorb his body to create a new physical body for herself. A fucking ugly ass one, granted.
Yeah.
But Hellas now has a physical form to try and remake the world with.
Can we touch on a point where Creon thought he was going to be possessed?
For a moment he was, because for a moment Hellas was talking through him.
Yeah. And it is like, it just happened to be because Precious, or Creon was in front of Precious, and Creon, and Hellas just took her tentacle back and just pulled Precious through Creon.
So remember that Precious couldn't steal Creon's heart because... And I was starting to think for a moment, like, oh, maybe he doesn't have one. Like, maybe he was built to be a backup body for Hellas. I thought he was about
to... And that's something we completely had talked through and was very viable of an option.
That's what it looked like was about to happen, too.
Especially now when we have the aspect of Hellas trapped in a cave, growing through the earth. That would create mushrooms. Like, everything there was logically there for that to happen.
Nope, Precious' body.
Everybody loves Creon. They're not going to dick Creon over that way. Which I'm very happy about.
About how Hellas' true form is somehow uglier than Evil's.
Are we talking Evil's monster form,
yes,
or
the final reveal form for him?
The weirdo shield version of him?
Yeah, the weird fucking actual alien one, and not any kind of rider form.
It's bad when monster forms are just disheartening. Especially in Sentai's. Like, the final villain models are usually amazing. Save for a handful, like Genis. It was not the most impressive Sentai villain for, like, the big bad. But, like, we just came off of Dogranio, which was a fantastic villain model. And then this is just
even Cuervo's like final boss form was better than Don Armage's like skeleton form.
Like, to me, Precious's form is better as a final villain model than this amalgamation of nasty, stupid shit.
Honestly, I'm not even sure what they're going for with it. It doesn't look like a dragon.
It has a weirdo shaped head though. Like
It
that was
doesn't.
it was like that was their intent to go for like a dragon form and then just nailed bits of Precious to it.
It doesn't match the chess theme that the Jordans have had.
Like it in no way does it, and it's disheartening.
But let's talk about Precious's plan. I'm super excited for this because in the next episode preview, you see uh, a vision of like everyone in the world being encased in a cocoon connected to a tree, where they would likely be put into like a dreamlike state and thus create a peaceful world. And I'd like to point out that that is what the ending to Naruto is.
I would also like to point out that that's basically the Matrix. I mean, let's face it. Let's be real.
But the Matrix, the point of that was that, like, hey, we're just using these guys as a fucking battery source. We don't care
Right.
about their actual happiness.
It's like, whereas here, it's no, we're just gonna create peace by fuck it, put everybody to sleep.
Yeah, put them in a dreamlike world where there's no pain. It's the ending to Naruto! I can't get over that.
And we're playing with somebody who thinks herself a goddess. The only difference is she was trapped in the earth and not the moon.
I can't. It's like the weirdest fucking turn for this series to take.
Like literally, the only thing that would have made this more so is if they used like the Gao Ranger mechs, where they were all animal based.
So like,
because then you could have like the fox and the turtle and the bull.
So like when Hellas was talking about remaking the world, I was thinking of sorry, my headset fell off. I was thinking of Burajira from Goseiger, where he wanted to destroy the world and remake it in his image. I thought we were gonna get some kind of Armageddon shit, but no, we're getting this.
Like literally, unless this preludes to Armageddon, of like, oh well, she's just putting the people to sleep that haven't really fucked up life in of itself.
Or like she's just putting everyone to sleep so that they don't feel anything when she ends it all.
Yeah, to being that kind yet destructive goddess.
And they also can't fight back that way.
Which, I mean, that's an easy way to end the world if nobody can fight you. You pretty much have full reign of doing it. But yeah, like this... For everything that we got this episode, like if this had been the end of the show, of them defeating Precious, ignoring the fact that Hellas is the big bad. Mm-hmm. If Precious had been the big bad, we would have had we defeated the bad guy that in a way that would have been unique as shit, because we don't usually, I don't think we've ever gotten the main villain comes to grips with their errors and mistakes and goes on to change. It usually always devolves into fuck you, I'm gonna destroy everything. It's like, and it would have been a very, very unique end to this show, which would have stuck with our memories for like ever. The same way Loop Hat sticks with will stick with us for like ever. But like in the end, it's gonna come down to the generic.
Yeah, no. Every time that like the main antagonist comes to terms with what they're doing and starts to make a change, the true final villain shows up and tries to just wreck house.
Like I think the closest we really got to this was I want to say Geki Ranger.
Yeah, Geki Ranger, where but he finds out he was just a pawn for the other guy's scheme the whole time.
And the other guy's just been there just fucking off this entire time.
I mean, he was immortal. Like, he had literally all the time in the world.
Like, and then that's the thing here is like Precious all the time. It's kind of the same thing. Same thing. Precious or Hellas has had all the time in the world about the time she got unsealed. Which that was an inevitability too. And also, can I point out that also explains why she can eat the Ryusoulger caliber energy?
Oh, yeah. We all thought that was weird, but now we get it.
Yeah, yeah, because she fucking created it. Well, she created it through her creations.
She created the energy because it's just a deviation of her.
Like, and that's a fantastic point that comes all the way around once you get all of the information. The writing in this overall has been fantastic because there's a lot of loose ends that we never got. That by now they're all tied up in a nice little bow. Really, the only question we have is will Yui make it back once Hellas is defeated? Will she come back to share her news of progress in her acting career?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope.
And then whether or not Toa and Bomba's Toa's girlfriend comes back and
Toa's girlfriend's going to be in America for a while. She might be back, but Bomba, his girlfriend is like a couple blocks away.
He'll just have to get her out of that cocoon. Maybe this time he won't look at her and tell her to strip first.
Take off your clothes, it's life-saving. Alright.
Goddamn, Bomba.
Thanks for joining. Oh, sorry, you have more?
As I was just going to say, this was a fantastic episode. And while I'm disappointed that this is going to continue for 2 episodes with what looks to be a very generic fucking villain, as long as we get more Creon, I don't give a fuck. At this point, I just want more Creon and Waizaru, and for the love of God, please give us an explanation of how you found Waizaru.
They won't.
I don't care if he's walking down the street. I don't care if they replay the same scene of Creon finding Waizaru the last time. Show the same scene of him just standing behind a pillar and drop it. Let him pull the Naruto thing, and I'm happy with that.
So, thanks for joining us today, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for more Kamen Rider 01, and next Tuesday for Ryusoulger. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining.